Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here, and this is part 2 of my weekly Q&A. The first part was answers from those who asked on Instagram, and now we are getting into the comments because on my last Q&A I asked you if you have any other questions, go ahead and put them down below. So I am now going to be going through the comment section for my previous video on May 5th. There was also a Q&A. So let's get into it. Mark G, I need a Zoom consultation for the PR move. To be honest, I am trying to do this at the end of the bull run. So what I am offering, I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm offering it for the next 30 days. I don't know if this is going to be a good idea or a bad idea, but this is all part of the experiment. So what I'm going to be doing is, if you want to jump on a 30-minute call with me, you can schedule that. The fee is $75. I know it's high, but I value my time. I value my time. I think you should value your time. I've spent the last 4 to 5 years staring and researching the crypto market and understanding what it's like to be a compliant, bona fide resident of Puerto Rico. So I've spent the time, I've done my research, and I think that there's some value to that. So please don't hate me if you think that's expensive. If you think that's expensive, just put your question in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to it. So someone made a statement, not necessarily a question, but I think for people that are interested in moving to Puerto Rico, this is going to be very beneficial. Total yearly bill with attorney assistance is around $20K after all current donations and fees. I checked with a local attorney, at least for the first year. The first year of you moving to Puerto Rico is going to be the most expensive. It will go down $5,000 to $10,000 after that. It depends who you use. So if you use a specialized attorney, it's going to be a lot more. But if you use PR Relocate, what's going to happen is they basically set up your Act 20, or it's now Act 60. So if you're looking for the capital gains, last time I checked, they charge about $2,000. If you're opening up a business, I want to say they charged $0. You just pay basically all of the fees. What happens is when you file your taxes, they get like part of it basically. So they are rewarded for being like your sponsor into Puerto Rico. So that's kind of the situation there if you want to take that route. If you're someone that's coming here and your business, if you're saving like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in taxes, I think you should take the time to just pay someone, because you're putting yourself in a position where you want to be protected. You know, there's a possibility that we're all freaking audited. So you just want to have your ducks in a row. You know, like my interpretation is, I think that they're going to go for the whales first, right? They're going to go for the people, you know, that are saving millions of dollars in taxes, you would think. But then I just heard recently that 45% of audits are like middle to lower class people, which is weird and it doesn't make sense. The only thing I could think of is because they're taking advantage of a bunch of like, I want to call it socialist programs, but I think that could potentially, people are not going to like that. I'm probably going to lose some followers by saying that. But you know, people that are maybe like on food stamps or getting any like government assistance, like maybe they're auditing those people. I'm not quite sure, but that's kind of weird. Okay, John Collard, love this channel. You're great. Thank you, John. If you move to PR and retain your U.S. citizenship, how much time per year are you required to reside in PR? Thanks in advance. This is an excellent, excellent question. If you are here strictly for the capital gains, you can ultimately spend 183 days out of the year here, 6 months and 1 day, and the rest of the time in the States or somewhere else in another country, and you are good. You're going to owe your 0% capital gains, and if you're just applying, you know, in the short term, the $10,000 annual donation to a nonprofit Puerto Rican nonprofit organization. But this is where the majority of people are not in compliance when it comes to the tax incentives in Puerto Rico. If you have a business, if you have an Act 60 that is a business, if you are exporting services outside of Puerto Rico, okay, and you are paying a 4% corporate tax, what's going to happen is for the days that you are in the States, let's say that I want to spend 4 months out of the year in California. For those 4 months, am I still working on my business? Am I basically generating revenue to that business? If so, for the time I'm in California, I better be paying California taxes and federal taxes. Most people don't do that, or they basically don't designate those days like they should be doing. Those are the people that are probably going to get into the most trouble. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. There's a lot of people here that are not in compliance when it comes to that particular aspect. If you're here for the personal capital gains, you are okay by being somewhere else, almost 6 months out of the year. But if you are a business, you have to segregate that income while you are in the States to your local state and the federal government. Most people don't do that, or they really push it when it comes to being honest about the revenue that they create while they're in the States. So that is something that you want to be aware of, but we also know that there's this completely different aspect of moving to Puerto Rico and being a bona fide resident when it comes to closer connection and presence. So you have your presence test when it comes to how many days you're spending here, but then there's also the closer connections test. Where are you banking? Where are you going to church on Sundays? Where is your dog located? Where's your wife? And where are your kids located? Where are your personal belongings located? Your car? Do you not own a house in Puerto Rico, but you own a house in the States? All those details, not for this video. We're just trying to give you an overview. Next question from Dar Gecko. Does Nexo give runaround when you try to withdraw your assets from Nexo? Some users complain that Nexo asks questions and try to withhold the withdrawals. I have never once had an issue withdrawing from Nexo. I've withdrawn multiple times, up to maybe $50,000 or $60,000 of USDC at a time. I've had no issues. But maybe they look at my account and they're just like, this girl, has an account that's over $500,000. It's ranged from $500,000 to $922,000. So they're just like, maybe we shouldn't give her any bullshit. And maybe we shouldn't give her any bullshit because she has a YouTube channel. What you need to understand is this. I am married to 0 lending platforms, okay? They don't pay me. I'm going to say whatever I want, okay? I'm going to keep them accountable. I'm going to say how I feel, and I'm going to share my real, honest experience, okay? I will not get bought out by any of them if they try to ever get me to not say certain things, all right? I'm just a little bit too honest. Well, in a good way. Hopefully it's going to help you guys. So I've had 0 experiences. The only time I've experienced a delay is on BlockFi when they take sometimes a day and a half to release my funds. So that's been my experience there. Great content as usual. My question would have been, how do you value a crypto and how do you find a gem? So I am not the best when it comes to doing my due diligence on a cryptocurrency or a new token or a new coin, okay? You want to look at the CEO. You want to look at the founders. You want to look at the team. You want to look at, their previous projects. Do they care about their reputation? Do they not? So I'm not necessarily looking out there for a new gem because I think that I prefer, the majority of my holdings are in Ethereum and Bitcoin. So that's my perspective there. And they also ask, do I plan on releasing a course? I would really find it challenging to release a course cryptocurrency related. I would actually feel a lot more comfortable releasing a course about sweepstaking, right? How I won 5 cars, a motorcycle, $10,000 4 or 5 times, 2 trips to the Grammys, a trip to an NFL game, free gas for 5 years. I think I would be more comfortable making a course about that than about crypto. And I would also feel more comfortable making a course about starting a YouTube channel, to be honest with you. I think that it gets really dicey when it comes to crypto and investing, and it's very unpredictable. But with these other things that I talk about, like when I talk about sweepstaking and when I talk about a YouTube channel, there's a formula, right? We're not depending on the markets and how they're going to emotionally respond, or Elon Musk tweeting something. So I would have a really hard time doing that. Someone said, how do I establish residency in Puerto Rico? Well, you move here, and then if you basically get your driver's license, if you change your mailing address, if you get a place to live here, if you get a car, I think there's also a specific form. Why do I want to say it's 5598? So you're basically telling the federal government, hey, I'm moving. This is where I'm moving to. So there's that component as well. Spiker King says, but which of these platforms have a fiat off-ramp into your bank account? I want to say BlockFi does, but I'm not 100% sure. Why do I feel like I remember just getting an email recently about BlockFi and you can actually attach your bank account there? So I think BlockFi might be your best option when it comes to the three that I continuously talk about. Okay, Justin AI says, I understand there are good areas and bad areas like anywhere, I guess. But is there a safe area you can recommend and where mostly English is spoken? Okay, so anywhere like in the San Juan area, San Juan, Condado, Ocean Park, Isla Verde, okay? So that area, you're gonna get a lot of English speaking because it's very touristy. This is a problem when it comes to the safety of Puerto Rico. I live not that far from the projects, okay? And I still feel safe. I have traveled by myself to Bali and Asia and Europe, and I feel safe almost everywhere I go. I rarely ever feel like my life is in danger. So I have I guess maybe like a high tolerance, and you probably shouldn't listen to me. If you're looking for the absolute, because there's still shootings around here, okay? I've never witnessed one. It's been a while, but there are shootings. If you want like probably one of the safest communities, I would say Dorado Beach. Palmas is probably quite safe. A lot of communities in Puerto Rico and neighborhoods have gates, but you just drive up and they ask you like, where are you going? And you just say Uber Eats and they let you through. So they're kind of worthless, but Puerto Ricans perceive them as safe, but I perceive them as just someone you have to ask to go through the gates. Maybe it helps that I'm female. I don't really know if that's like a factor of them being like sketched out of like who you are, of like coming in somewhere, but it is typically really easy to get through the gates of like any gated community. Say Ethereum dropped to 3K or under soon, which we have experienced. Would you take out a Nexo loan to buy 2 Ethereum at 10.9% and hope in 180 days it's 10K or 20K? So that would be a massive bet. If you're willing to lose everything to make that bet, you go for it. Never financial advice. Would I personally do that? No. And because I already have loans and Ethereum is under 2K, then I'm not really looking, even though this would be the time to take out more loans, I'm already so leveraged that I'm not going to be taking out loans. So I personally would not do that. Someone asked, Anita Ortega, how long do you plan to live in PR? I love Puerto Rico. As long as the tax incentives are here and the majority of my income is capital gains, I do not plan on leaving. The most likely scenario of me leaving would be if the tax incentives ended. But there are a lot of tax incentives that Puerto Rico has to offer, including plenty in tourism or real estate, which I would love to get into later because I'm still learning about that specifically myself. I think I would find another avenue of creating income that worked with another tax incentive. So that is something that I would consider. I also have so many friends here, and if the majority of them stayed, then I would also probably want to stay. But at the same time, if they moved, it's really easy to make new friends. I take my life day by day. I don't plan too far ahead. I thought when I moved to Puerto Rico that I was only going to be here for 3 years and I was going to be gone. My 3 years is up and I am sticking around. I love Puerto Rico. I am attached to this place, okay? So unless like all my friends left and all the tax incentives disappeared, I don't really see a reason for me moving, but I do really have the dream of getting my Portuguese citizenship because my dad was born there, my mom was conceived in Portugal and born in the States. So I can easily get a Portuguese passport, which is a very strong passport, and I love Portugal. I could see myself living in Portugal for an extended period of time. The food's amazing. It's beautiful. Oh, I'm just obsessed. I'm just so obsessed. Crypto Cuban. If you buy USDC with your gains or whatever coins you sell, do you not have to pay taxes or do you? So, fortunately, I don't pay taxes because I have an Act 22. One thing you need to consider when you watch my videos is that the decisions I make is because I don't have to pay taxes. Okay, that changes everything. I am like 99% sure that if I was to sell any of my crypto into USDC, that is a taxable event. So keep that in mind. Can you give your opinion on when the bull market will end? Thanks. Niem Tran, I think that there is a 40% chance that we have hit a top, and there is a 60% chance that we have not hit the top. I am looking for a parabolic move. What does that mean? I'm looking for Bitcoin to jump 200 to 300% in like a 1 to 2 month period. I am just looking for a blow off top, and that's how I think that we will have the best signal that we have topped. Hello, I'll try this again. Are staking rewards in PR taxed as ordinary income? I believe they are. I just started staking this year, so I have to actually figure that out myself. Okay, do you think this bull market will be a super cycle, meaning it will last longer than previous bull markets, and when the bear market hits, it won't be as bad as previous bear markets? Well, as we've seen, Bitcoin just fell 50%. So the volatility is still there. A super cycle, that's always a possibility. I think that it's really easy for us to try to attach to the 2017 bull market and make comparisons. If you watch my videos, I do that all the time. But markets are very unpredictable. And not only are we're living in a very pivotal time for cryptocurrency, right? We're living in a time where hyperinflation is here, okay? They're selling us bacon in the store. They're giving us 2/3 of what they normally would for the same freaking price, okay? The cost of food is accelerating. Lumber, gas, everything is super freaking expensive. For me to get an Uber to Old San Juan, it's like 3 or 4 miles away. Sometimes it's $50. $50. Like, how the hell did that happen? Things are getting so expensive, which changes the entire dynamic. Dollars are being printed excessively. We're living in like a very pivotal time in history to where I think that this period of time in the crypto space is not going to really correlate with previous bull runs and previous cycles, because Bitcoin was created for this, right? Satoshi Nakamoto was creating Bitcoin to prepare for what we're experiencing now. Thank you for the video. Do you still need to file taxes in the US as a US citizen? I was under the impression you have to file tax returns every year if you maintain US citizenship. So my particular CPA, Lance Talkington, he recommends that you continuously file a federal return, even if it's zero. He has a reasoning behind that. He also has a lot of experience because he also took advantage of the tax incentives in the US Virgin Islands, where almost, I think, everyone got audited, so he has a ton of experience there. So yes, you probably still want to file a federal return. Mark Stokes, looks like if you bought your crypto in the US, you have to pay taxes on it, even if you move to Puerto Rico. So here's the thing. 2 options. You move to Puerto Rico today. Let's say you bought Bitcoin at 30,000. Okay, you move on a day like today where it's like 37, 38,000, you're only going to pay taxes on all of your Bitcoins for that $7,000 to $8,000 gain. Anything over that, you are paying 0 on, because that is your new cost basis. There's also an option, okay, where you sit here for 10 years, and if you hold and you sit on the asset for 10 years, then you don't have to pay taxes after you've been here for 10 years. But this is the thing. Puerto Rico could become a state. I think it's highly unlikely. 1, 2, if it did happen, it would take a long, long time. Therefore, I think that I wouldn't want to make the bet on the whole 10-year situation. 10 years is just a big ass commitment. So I'd rather just pay the taxes on my gains and then create like that new cost basis. What if I put my crypto account that earns crypto interest in an LLC or other entity? Will it then be taxed at 4% corporate tax under Act 60? I'm pretty sure, yes. I haven't talked to a lawyer about this, but I've talked to one of my very intelligent friends about this, and that's what he said. Are you single? I can cook, but I'm really sweet and cute. I can also cook. Am I single? Yes, and I love being single. Chris Bullock, what about what Biden is wanting to tax crypto coins and all, and even if you're holding, I think he's wanting to tax that stuff at a crazy tax rate. You know what I gotta say? Get the fuck out of the States, because who wants to deal with that kind of bullshit, okay? Taxes are going to get so ugly at the federal level, you guys. So if you have a solid crypto holding that's like under $2 million, I think you should consider renouncing your US citizenship. And this is the thing, you have to consider like your family, right? Like for me, the hardest thing is like if I want to renounce, I have so much family in the States. I think you can only spend 30 days in the States out of the year. It's like what if someone in my family got sick or something and I had this limited amount of time I could spend with them? I would feel like such a piece of shit. But if you like don't really have family, I guess there's some people that don't have family. Oh my God, I would renounce in a second. Good question would be, what's a good amount to move to Puerto Rico? That is an excellent question. It really depends, So for some people, they might not be saving that much overall, but it's the potential, right? It's the potential of what you can earn. You can grow a business here and pay such little in taxes. But for some people, they have to justify it because they're moving their entire family. They're like, I need to be saving hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in taxes. But for a lot of people, it's just the principle, right? Like, I don't like how my tax dollars were spent in California. Those don't align ethically with what I believe in. So I don't even care if I was saving a little bit or a lot. It's the principle that makes me want to be here. Someone asked if the closet door is fixed, and the answer is... You don't know what the answer is. No. Nope. Closet door is not fixed. Okay, this is a good one. What about actually supporting the place you are living in and not just being there to not pay taxes? Puerto Rico has a bad economy and you just come here to what? Just to sit around and brag you don't pay taxes? What are you contributing to the island? Well, I'll let you know what I'm contributing to the island. I'm contributing $5,000 every year to a nonprofit organization. I spend plenty of money here. I'm sure my landlord loves the fact that I pay my rent every single month on time, ahead of time. I go out and eat at restaurants. I shop here. I tip Puerto Ricans really well. I employ a housekeeper to clean my house. Okay, it's not a lot. You know what? I pick up after myself at the beaches. I don't leave a single piece of trash at the beaches. I care about Puerto Rico and I take care of Puerto Rico. All right. And you know what? I make these videos, which also attracts a lot of people to Puerto Rico. You know what I'm tired of? Oh, my neck is getting red. I am tired of this victim mentality, as if us people coming from the States and other countries are hurting Puerto Rico. You know what people are doing? They're making Puerto Rico better. All right, they're providing opportunities for people and they actually care about this island and they're fighting for this island to be a place that is just full of opportunity. All right, so there is a lot more. So, you know what, AR8, who can't use his real name, okay, with, the whole victim mentality. All right, how about what are you doing for Puerto Rico? Because you know what? I can't tell you how many people have said, I have moved to Puerto Rico because of you. Puerto Rico is a brain drain. Over the past 10 years, the population of children from the age 0 to 5 has gone down 50%. Okay, and you know what I'm doing? I'm encouraging people to move to Puerto Rico. All right, and what does an economy need for it to grow? Human beings spending money. And you know what? We're going to end on that note. After my little rowdy session. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, that's all I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.